fancy intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
If you're level 40 plus in Star Trek Fleet Command, there's a new feature for you that just came out called the Terran Empire that goes in tandem with the PvP arenas. Now, before anybody says anything, yes, this is another example of content being locked behind 40 plus, and I completely understand that being a gripe. And if you want to say that that is a problem for you, please do, because, well, the overlords need to hear that feedback. Truthfully, if you go by a numbers standpoint, there are still more players below level 40 than there are above. I understand all the reasons that people might like or dislike that, and if you want to chime in, feel free. But this video is going to cover two things for 40 plus. Number one, we're going to go over the Terran favors and the basic example of the faction store, the basic logic of the faction store, and what I believe you should focus on early on if you're able to participate. And last but not least, if you want to at the very end, and again, 40 plus content, but I mean, really hate to alienate people, but it is what it is. Also, at the very end, I want y'all to take part in a PvP Arenas feedback, very similar to what we did a couple years ago with the Incursions feedback. I want to be able to go in detail, and this one's a bit different, so wait to the end of the video. I'm also going to share this out on Discord, Facebook, etc. So, let's go into this right here. Let's talk about what has value as you're leveling up. So, number one, you have to get your currency at the top right, this one right here, the arena emblems, by leveling up in the arena and participating in the arena. You get 1,000 emblems if you win, you get 400 if you lose, and then you go into this right here, which you pull to get your reputation, your common credits, etc. And this does change as you actually increase your reps and everything, as you can see with over there. Now, some of those rep levels have been updated. I actually went into the file and updated after making and pulling these pictures, so don't worry, all the information will be in the spreadsheet on my Discord if you're one of the people who likes to look into that. But short answer is you get your currency from winning, losing in the arena. That's allowing you to get more of your reputation. If you like more details and you want more goodies in that, well, then head over to the Discord. We'll shoot you the sheet. So then what does that allow you to do? Well, as you rank up, as with any other faction in the game, you're going to access to more things that you can then claim, whether it be PvP officers that you can see here, which, by the way, I'd be very remiss. My friend Baby Shark could be very mad at me if I don't mention this. A good one that if you're looking for a PvP crew would be something like Mirror Ezri as captain, Mirror Hura on the side, and then Khan. Now, the drawback to that is, well, you'd have to get the officers unlocked, and that would then make it to where if you did Ezri, for example, it would have to hit a battleship player. But there are some good PvP crews secretly in here that you can go after. Here's the thing. I think a lot of people are going to care more about the favors down here, as well as some of the other goodies. Let's talk about some of the things that I think are immediately good, regardless of the actual reputation level you need. Because you can see here, I'm only a lackey, meaning I don't have access to something like this one, Forbidden Favors. What is that? Unlocks a daily reward of Forbidden Tech, Protomatter, Tier-Up Catalysts, Reactors, and Fusion Rods, which can be claimed for the Building Resource section in the gifts. That sounds really heckin' good. How good is that? As you can see up top, actually pretty generous in my opinion in terms of what you would be able to claim every day, and we're big fans of more is more here. Now, as you can see right beside me, you have to get to Comrade to be able to pull that off. So you have to rank up and get there. But at the same time, that's one to kind of like put a pin on, circle, and pay attention to. Another one, I'm gonna leave that up for a second, is the Syndicate. We just made a video about the importance of Syndicate and more ways to get Syndicate XP, and that has been a reoccurring theme this year, more Syndicate XP. Well, here's you a huge amount of Syndicate XP, unlocks a daily reward of Syndicate XP, which can be claimed from the Buildings Resources section in gifts. Then it maxes out, as you can see here, 28,000 a day. That's a lot. Now, again, I'm not trying to make it sound like at level 40, you hop in this and day one, you're unlocking these. But these are things to take a look at that you're probably going to want to invest heavily down the road as you get more access to some of these. And you have some ones early on that are valuable, but I think those are two that stand out immediately. There are others that stand out immediately. For example, cost efficiency bundles. Who doesn't love more efficiency in Star Trek Fleet Command? In fact, let me go ahead and take that off the screen. I snap my fingers every time. It makes me feel like Q. But if you look at G3, G4, G5, Innovative Engineering, as well as G6, what do those do? Increase cost efficiency of blueprint bundles. Here's where I'm really jealous. If you happen to be like level 35, 39, 40, etc., you're growing in this game right now, you're getting access to some things that, in my opinion, are so stinking cool, I'm beyond jealous. Now, How you unlock these can vary based on 1, your reputation inside the faction, and 2, how high you've actually made it in the ranking system. So this is where a little bit different. Look right here. See, unlocks at bronze 1, silver 3, and gold 1. So yeah, you will need to be in the arena participating and raising up your rank to get some of these. But even this, the G3 engineering one is huge. Why do I believe it's huge? Because you're asking yourself, Rev, why does it matter if I'm getting cheaper ships at G3? Because you're scrapping ships. And while that does not apply long term, here's why I'm jealous if you're level 35 or level 40 getting access to this as you're working through the game over the next few months. You'll be able to scrap G3 ships, right? That's great. And as you work into the arena, your G5 gets cheaper, right? I talk about all the time how I don't recommend skipping ships anymore at various levels. Like if you're level 42, 46, 50, 53, 56, 60, etc., I recommend building at least one of those ships. Well, then you get a bonus to how cheap those are, making it even easier to obtain, whereas back in the day, my day, it was much harder. So there's a lot of value in here if you're one of those players willing to go through the PvP arena. Which, by the way, for those curious, of the players that could participate, over 29% plus participated, which by itself almost sounds bad. But here's a comparison. Alliance tournaments had a participation rate of all players who could score, 20% did. So in the first run of PvP arenas, 9% more players participated wanting to engage in PvP. That's a pretty high number, and if they can make changes to make it better, because there were obviously problems, I'm not trying to deny there was problems, clearly there are problems, then you can see these becoming very valuable and easier to obtain than maybe even Alliance tournaments, which some people see as another feature that needs a lot of adjustment, and both of them do, but these have value. Look at some of the other things that are available here. We'll start from the top down. Arena Shield, that's obviously going to make you stronger in the arenas, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm not going to recommend the shield. I always go whole health first. It's because that's more direct survivability, whereas shields can be bypassed or maybe they aren't as valuable as compared to maybe even something like Apex Barrier. But let's keep moving. Hulls is a good one. Then you have Entrepreneurial Spirit, cost efficiency for Rhodinium, Cosmic Particles, and Assembly Metals. There's nothing wrong with this, but in terms of a focus, this would be a very secondary focus for me. Like if you're in your X-Borg tree, right, and we talk about using different materials and stuff, how you would save your uncommons in your X-Borg, that's kind of the thing there. Like that's a do it eventually, but definitely not priority. Same thing with your Synthetic Natrium, your Voyager ship parts, Cerritos parts, etc. Don't really feel like that's something that you should invest in. Put these currencies that you're earning into other things. For example, nothing wrong with you going after the Mirror Dust claim, which in terms of what that pays out escalates, I would say fairly. It's not an incredible amount, but you get 75, 130, and then 175. So 75, 130, 175. That makes it a little bit easier if you're trying to push up those different mirror researches. All right, continuing on down, vision upgrades, we went over. Then you get down to the engineers, which we talked about. Then come on down to the bottom. You have through the mirror, increases the efficiency for Mirror Universe premium rifts. Obviously, that's big, especially if you got that done before you did these 3 forbidden favors. Unlocks a daily reward of forbidden tech, which we covered. And then last but not least, Vengeful Defense. Increases base Apex barrier versus players for 1 round during any round where opponent has a status effect. This is one that I do think is quite good. So the main ones are basically your efficiencies, things that you can grind for, but I do think some good ones here. And I would basically ignore avatars and frames, even though there's some neat ones. I wouldn't worry about all that. Worry about these favors. That's what I would focus on. And if you want to, Giorgio's Crown will also give you more Apex Barrier as an artifact. But again, depends on what's important to you. I think a lot of players are going to focus more on the innovative engineerings, things like that. But for PvP, there's a lot of PvP stuff in here. Now, I want to talk about the arenas real quick. If you made it this far, thank you, but this is gonna be at the end of the video, so hopefully it doesn't interrupt too much things. So cue snap away. Here's what I made right now. Hopefully as many people participate in this as possible. This is meant for level 40 plus people to participate. You might go, Rev, I didn't get to participate because this happened or the times were bad, etc. Don't worry, I got you covered. This is the best survey I've ever made. My opinion, I don't know, y'all might disagree, but anyway, I changed up. You got your normal things here you're used to. What level are you? What region are you? But you can rank it 5 stars, 3 stars, whatever. I don't care what you say. Give your honest opinion. I want to know one best thing, one worst thing. So 2 things about it. I want to be very clear though. Only the top 3 are required. The only ones that you're required to answer have a little red dot on them right there, a little red star. You could ignore all this if you wanted to, but I would strongly encourage you to give your thoughts. Let me know what one great thing about PvP arenas was and what the worst part was. I want to know if you understood the payout structure. Do you feel like it was explained by Scopely really well? Because I personally don't, I'll be honest. And I feel like they could have done better, and I feel like they should do better if they want more people to take advantage of this. Are the Terran Empire faction rewards valuable to you? The ones we just went over, do you think they're valuable? Obviously, you know what I think, but you let me know what you think. Here's a big one for a lot of players. I took the time to make a box checklist. When can you actually do these? That way, if you're because this time it basically ran right here, right? These 2. This is kind of how it ran right here. But if you say, hey, I am better here, let me know. Put these in the chart. And that way we can show Scopely that these are when the players respond. And hopefully thousands of you respond. We'll see. Then I have this section. Do you feel like any of these functions? These were big pieces of feedback that I gathered in the past 48 hours. I'm not saying they're the end all be all for feedback, but do you agree any of these are good? If any of these don't get agreement, I just won't even bother with them. Last but not least, I ask for your full detailed response. Now, this might not apply if you were watching this months later, but I am curious what everybody participating in the first rung thinks, and then I can provide this to the overlords. Appreciate y'all. That's all I got for today. Live long and plunder. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuce, that's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek Fleet Command video. If you need any help with PvP with arenas launching, tell me. Let me help you out. I'll gladly do it. And again, I was shocked by how many of y'all did participate, even with the short window. Like, even then, almost 30% of the people who could participate did, and that's with it running in a short 8-hour window, which nobody knew was happening. They didn't announce that. Communication can be better. Anyway, let me know what you think in the survey. Participate and do all the things. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are amazing, and we'll see you on the next one.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.